Hi, I'm Tanner with Well Played, and today I'll be teaching you the Settlers of Catan. Settlers of Catan is a trading and negotiation resource management game for 2 to 4 players. There's multiple ways to set up the game, but I recommend using the suggested setup on the back of the rulebook for your very first game. After setting up the board and its various tiles in this configuration, you'll also take all the 5 different resource cards and lay them into 5 face-up stacks based on their type. The 5 types of resources are brick, sheep, wood, wheat, and ore. You'll also give every player all the wooden pieces of their color that they chose at the beginning of the game, plus a building cost assistance sheet. You'll take the stack of development cards, which have this color back, and set them to the side, shuffled. You'll also take the longest road and largest army tile and set them to the side. You won't need them yet, but they'll be important soon. Lastly, have all the players roll the 2 dice that come with the game, and the person who rolls the highest total will be the first player. Each player will also have a starting hand of resources based off of the starting setup of their 2 settlements on the board. In this example, the red player would start with 2 wood cards, 1 wheat card, 1 sheep, 1 ore, and 1 brick in their hand. After the setup is complete and you've selected the first player, you're ready to begin. The first thing that will occur on a player's turn is they will roll both of the dice that come with the game. They'll add the numbers together, and they'll announce the total to the table. In this example, the first player rolled a 9. We will then check to see where 9 is represented on the board. There's a 9 here on this wheat tile, and a 9 here on this wood tile. Any player that has a settlement that is touching any of those tiles will receive that resource. After resources have been collected, the active player will then take their turn either building or trading with other players as much as they see fit until they're ready to pass. When trading with other players, you may trade any amount of cards from your hand in exchange for cards for another player. You are only allowed to trade one of the 5 basic resources when making trades with other players. Development cards cannot be traded. Once the active player wishes, they may begin building. During the building phase of a turn, a player will look at their building cost cheat sheet, and that will inform them what they are able to build and what resources they'll need to spend in order to build it. For example, if the orange player wished to build a road, they would need to spend 1 wood and 1 brick, and that would give them 1 road. All pieces that are built must be adjoining to other pieces that already exist on the board. If the red player were to build a road, they would need to place it either here, here, any of these configurations, or anywhere that offshoots off of this settlement or road as well. The goal of the game is to be the first player to 10 points. Each settlement on the board is worth 1 point, so each player is beginning the game with 2 points. Roads are worth no points, but they can help facilitate you to get more points down the line. And settlements can be upgraded to cities, and each city will be worth 2 points. An important note about building settlements is that they must be at least 2 spaces away from any other settlement on the board. So for example, this location is not a legal placement for a settlement from any player because it is only 1 away from this settlement. Whereas building a settlement in this location is perfectly legal because it is exactly 2 spaces away from any other settlement and has roads connecting it. Building additional settlements is a necessary strategy for the game, not only for gaining additional points, but also to ensure you're more likely to gain more resources, whether it be your turn or on another player's turn. The cost for placing a settlement on the board is 1 wood, 1 brick, 1 sheep, and 1 wheat. To upgrade a settlement to a city will cost 3 ore and 2 wheat. The final thing that you may build is a development card, which costs 1 wheat, 1 sheep, and 1 ore. When a development card is purchased, it is secretly placed within your hand and may be played anytime on your turn. The more eagle-eyed viewers will notice that there is no 7 represented on this board. And that's because whenever a 7 is rolled, the robber is activated. As soon as a 7 is rolled on any player's turn, before any other effects are resolved, it's important for everyone to keep count of how many resource cards they have in their hand. If anyone has more than 7 cards, they lose half of them. If you have an odd number of cards, it rounds in your favor. So if you have 9 cards, you would lose only 4. The active player who rolled the 7 will then take the robber and move it to a new location. Then 2 things will occur. First, as long as the robber remains in that location will not produce resources when that number is rolled. Second, the active player who moved the robber will then get to randomly steal a card from one of the players that have a settlement or city adjacent to that tile. Whenever a 7 is rolled, the robber must be moved. It cannot be left in the same location. In addition to trading and building, another action a player may take is to play a development card from their hand. Development cards have various forms and effects, ranging from allowing you to build segments of road for free, moving the knight as if you had rolled a 7 and stealing a resource from another player, declaring one type of resource to the table and stealing all of that resource, or simply being worth 1 victory point. The final way to acquire victory points in the game is either to acquire the longest road or the largest army. To acquire the longest road, a player must have a segment of road that is at least 5 lengths of road long. So if the red player had played this road building card, they would get to build 2 additional lengths of road. And if they placed them here, they would now have the longest road. Settlements in between do not break up the longest road. Once a player has at least 5 segments of road contiguously connected, they will then win the longest road card, which will get them 2 victory points. But if any player ever has a longer section of road than them, then they will steal that card, and the 2 points that come with it. Largest army works much the same way, but instead of having the longest road, you will need at least 3 knight cards face up in front of you. We hope you enjoyed this introduction to Settlers of Catan, and we hope that you found it useful in your next playthrough. Please like and subscribe, and we hope to see you soon.